Welcome back to the recap of the Hakeem Podcast, Season 4. I'm here with my beautiful wife, Sam.
Hi.
Girl. Let's, she'll be leading us through this interview. We're going to coast through this recap about Season 4, give y'all a little brief insight on what's coming ahead, and where we're going with this.
All right, well, let's just get right into it. Season 4 had a lot of different guests and a lot of different topics, so we're going to pull some of our highlights away from that and get into what we learned and all that good stuff. My first question for you is, what are some takeaways that you had from this season?
I had a ton. It's hard right now to just lay them all out. I miss a few because the season was so space, dealing with life in general.
Yeah.
But I know one big takeaway, and I talked about this with a few guests, was just unity within the minority community. It's something that's really important to me, but also the guests that I interviewed on this season, most of them hit on it. So I would say that was a huge takeaway for me, is unity. And also another one I would say is learning from your mistakes. And that's pretty much what I try to get out of my guests, is what mistakes you made and how did you overcome it. Or
because that's how we learn lessons.
Exactly. And I would say that was an easy takeaway for me, just hearing the guests from this season, successes and failures.
I want to jump a little bit out of order in our questions because I feel like this is a good follow-up to that. I want to know, what is a lesson that you learned throughout this, or a way that you grew in this season personally?
Mm-hmm.
At any time in season 4, what was a way that you personally have changed or learned or grown?
I would have to stick, and I'm glad you asked that right after this one, but I would have to stick to the unity. I think as for myself, I know for myself, sometimes uniting with other creators or with other people, for me is a struggle, just because I move off of principles. And I think a big thing for me is it's okay if people go against my principles and we still unite and work together, instead of me putting up a wall because of somebody who don't even know my principles went against them. And it's a lot of my guests taught me that no, we need to put our pride to the side and continue to unite. That was the biggest lesson that I learned from my guests this season.
Mm-hmm. I think I'll jump into, and let me know what you think about this. Something personally we learned during this period of time making season 4, and I think we're still learning, we might just be starting to learn about it, is priorities and consistency and all of the really huge pillars and trying to make something like a podcast or really whatever project people are working on, setting priorities throughout every single thing in life to make sure that your project still keeps moving forward. That's been a hard lesson that we've had to learn.
Yeah, I want to piggyback off that too. That's good. And I would say what's been big for us that we're continuously learning and failing from is know how to protect our energy. And what I mean by that is, if something's on that calendar, for whatever it may be, stand on it. We got a lot of friends, we got a lot of family who need us, but prioritizing our business, it's been a huge failure this season, but plenty of time to turn it into a success, I would say. So that's good.
Yeah, we're learning not just how to say no. I feel like that's a pretty common thread. We're trying to learn how to say no, but the bigger theme is trying to learn how to say yes to the right things at the right time.
And yes and no is a complete sentence.
What does that mean?
I mean, you when you got things to do or you got things in your schedule that you need to prioritize, let your yeses be yes and your nos be no. And you don't need no explanation. You shouldn't feel entitled to give everyone an explanation about why you can't do it or why you can do it. So,
and then if you're gonna let your let your yes be yes and your no be no. If you said that you're going to do something, then stick to it.
Yeah, follow through.
Yeah. Hard lessons. I think this is something that is going to probably go into season 5 too. We might see some fruit from that lesson in season 5. Let's get into some specifics about the episodes. Can you tell me about an episode that really stood out the most to you in season 4?
Absolutely. No disrespect to any episode,
of course,
that was in season 4, but the very best episode for me was the Friends episode that I shot down in Houston with a couple of my buddies. It changed like my trajectory on the outlook of my friends and also others. Like I got texts from friends like, oh, you really made me just tap back in with my old friends and let them know how much I appreciate them. Or I got my old friends texting me like, oh man, I'm really a bad friend. I need to be better at this, that, and the third. And that's what it's all about for me, is painting that picture, and not even necessarily for me, my guests painting that picture and people reacting on it in real life. In that episode, I think it had the most impact, not only on me, but other followers and listeners of the podcast. Like my phone was blowing up after the episode dropped. It really showed people how much we need friends, how much we need people.
Yeah, I think that episode really resonated with our audience, maybe more than any episode ever before, because everyone has friends. You know, not everyone has entrepreneurial personality, or not everyone
entrepreneurship.
Has
That's an inside joke.
Everyone has an artist's mindset, but everyone has or wants a group of friends, and that group, really how you are as a friend, and it shows a lot in that group, is so unique. I don't see a lot of friend groups like that. So just telling your guys' story as a group of friends is compelling. And on top of that, although it might be different from what other people experience, it's going to resonate them. Because like you said, it still challenges people to be a better friend. Absolutely.
And on the minds, if we're not challenging you, then we're not doing our job. It's how I feel. So yeah, that episode, I've went back and listened a few times too, just to recalibrate my brain when I feel selfish, if I feel like I'm just doing everything for me and you, because I need my friends more than ever.
Yeah. I will also say I think that episode hit on more layers than we necessarily hit on this show.
Absolutely.
It wasn't just about a goal or growth, but there was a lot of emotion behind it too, because of the sweetness of friendship. Not a lot of times in your, like when I'm listening back to the podcast, I go, "Aw," but I was doing it so much during the episode.
You're not the only one.
All right, so let's look ahead. What can we look forward to in the next season, in season 5? What's on the lineup?
It's a lot. Like my guest list is so long, and if you listening to this and you're on that list, you know who you are. But I'm looking towards getting some more authors on. I need the book writers. I really am passionate about reading books, and I feel like, especially like as a minority, that was slept on. So I'm looking for more authors to get on. Also, I feel like my podcast has become the voice of the rhyme and reason here in the Des Moines area for music. So I'm looking to get some of the top musicians on, and some musicians trying to get light too. So I'll be in tune with them and hearing their successes. I really enjoy music, and you do as well, and so does the world. I think people would pick music over a lot of things if they had to lose some things. So I really enjoy tapping into musician brains and seeing how they create. So they'll be back. I'll keep being that platform for them to not only promote their projects and promote their work, but to also to let people just get deeper into the person, because I think we forget that. We get so lost in the music, and sometimes we can get false narratives to people. I like to pick their brains, so they're coming. But also, I talked to a couple of people in the financial world. I want to get at least one financial episode on. I got a got two guys in mind who I want to get on, and I've been talking to them. So I want to teach, continue to try to teach wealth too, and not for me because I struggle with it just like everybody else. So I want to get the experts and see what we should be doing with our money, especially in this pandemic and with the war and inflation. I feel like that'd be a huge topic to talk about. So a lot of that's coming. We got a ton more in store, and if you're on that guest list, please be patient with us.
Okay, I got some follow-up questions
Uh-oh.
from what you just said. The kind of rapid fire questions. So we already saw your book recommendations from 2021 to read in 2022.
Mm-hmm.
What's a book that you've read in 2022 that you want to talk about?
Ooh, hold up. My book is right behind me. I need to take a look.
Or something you're looking forward to reading
Swing.
in 2022.
Oh, yes.
However you want to answer that.
Here's one. This is one I'm really looking forward to read. It's called...
Give us some ASMR. Flip through the pages.
Oh, no. I'm not.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. I got you. Hold up. No visual. Was that good? But no, this one I'm really looking forward to reading. It's called The Hero with 1,000 Faces by Joseph Campbell. I heard good things about this book. Can't wait to dive in. It's a real old book. I think it was written in 1949. I'm really looking forward to reading that one. This is a really good book. I'm reading a book. It's called The Destruction of Black Civilization. And it's just basically walking us through the history of Egypt. That when Europeans and when Arabs invaded the land and induced slavery on Black people and stuff like that. And it's a lot of stuff that we didn't learn in high school as minorities or white people or Arabs or Hispanics. We just didn't learn that. So it's a real awakening for me. And I struggle with that book a lot and just looking at the principles and the way they did it. But if you enter understanding your history as a Black person, this is a really good book. It's really long. It's really hard. It's an abstract read, but it's been super impactful for me. And I read one sales book. I'm into sales, so it's called Go for No. It's a pretty stereotypical sales book, but it really motivated me through the season to work hard at what I do, not only with the podcast but at my job currently. So Go for No. It's a good sales book. I forget the name, the author name, but yeah, Go for No is pretty standard. You can find it, but those are three good ones that I've read and in reading right now and want to read.
Okay, you talked about how important music is. What's an artist that you've gotten into so far into 2022?
I just interviewed him on the podcast, Juliano Doc. And I'm giving a rap for Lent right now, so I haven't been able to listen to him for a couple weeks, which I'm not happy about. But he's really, really, really good and underrated. I didn't know how good he was. I saw his stuff a few times, but you know how we do it. We see people promos and we don't tap in as deep. And I think that's kind of what happened. But I was put onto his projects, and yeah, he's really good. That's one really good artist. And I haven't really been listening to nobody new. I've been reading a lot. I've popped out. I'm wrapping up my 5th book this year, so I've been spending my time listening to focus music while reading. I gotta have something going, so that's it, right? That's the only new artist right there, and I'm glad that he's considered quote unquote a local artist right now. Yeah. But I really hope people tune into what he got to say on his music, and he's very talented and gifted.
Can you talk about, as we continue to look forward, some upcoming things that we're going to be doing in the community this spring and maybe even this summer?
For sure. Well, everybody know we hand out meals. Good Vibes do it on Sunday. We're still hanging in on Saturdays, and we're about to get that back going. So we do need continuous volunteers. That's been amazing. Just people donating food and people donating their time to hand out food in the community, but we add into it actually. So like we want to make it more relationship based. We want to do life with these people in these neighborhoods. So my buddy John Luke and Willie Dolo, my buddy and Willie Dolo, they're they're doing basketball while we're doing the meal giveaway for kids, and they putting kids through workouts on the outside court at Drake Park. And after they finish working out, they'll have a meal waiting for them straight from the food giveaway. We'll be able to sit with them, eat with them, and be able to pour into these young men and young women. And we also partnering with the Springerburg real estate team on the meal giveaway and the basketball event with FCA as well. Luis from Fellow Christian Academy. Is it Academy or Associates?
Fellowship of Christian Athletes?
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Hey, you got an F, you got a C, you got an A. I mean,
boys
you were
just
in
be
there.
making up acronyms. But yeah. Luis and John Luke will be heading up the basketball side, and me, you, Andrew, and Tyler and their respective spouses, Jesse and Hannah, will be heading up the food ministry and just getting more donations and serving the community as best as we can. So yeah, that's coming here in the next couple of weeks.
Let us know how you want to get involved.
Absolutely, we need your help. So yeah, that's coming. We also been doing this program called Teammates. It's where we mentor a kid, and teammates can use more mentors, especially people who listen to the Minds podcast. And we go into the elementaries and we sit with one kid once a week for 30 minutes on their lunch, and we just listen and pour into that kid. And I think it's most importantly that we listen, because I've been learning a lot from my kid just by hearing his cries, hearing his thoughts, because they're in a different world than us. So I think with the problem of everything that's going on in Des Moines right now, especially like what just happened at East, the tragedies that just transpired at East, we have to talk to these kids and be with these kids at this young age. So it's very important for me that me spending a 30-minute lunch with somebody, that's nothing. Like I should be doing more, and it doesn't stress me out. It doesn't. Those kids need those role models. I wish I had something like that when I was in high school, elementary at least. And we seeing the effects of what's going on at these high schools now. And somewhere we got to say, all right, enough is enough, and step in. And Teammates is really doing a good job at that. So that's what we're doing. That's what we're pushing, and that's what we're promoting. With a ton of other things that might just pop up, like open mic. Yeah, open mic night every Friday, last Friday of the month. Open mic where we let people come just get off their talents. And I've seen a ton of talent artists there that I met that I did not know of. Just and also poets and anybody you want to read a poem, you want to speak some spoken words, just whatever. Like just come share your talent with us at open mic. We have a good time at Good Vibes Movement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd encourage anyone that's in the Des Moines area to get involved with the food, sharing meals. I would encourage you to get involved with the mentorship program and with open mics. And if you don't live in Des Moines, all of these programs probably exist in the city that you're in. So go out and serve, especially as the weather's warming up in the spring and summer. It's really such a good time to get involved.
And plug in.
Okay. Any final thoughts on season 4? Any shout outs you want to give? Any closing words of wisdom? What do you got for us?
I got nothing. I'm not wise. I'm trying to get wise from others. So I got nothing.
No shout outs? Nothing.
I'm talking about like wise words, but no, just shout out to everybody who's supporting, follow the podcast. It's really appreciated from us, and we really love and respect y'all, and we'll never change. We'll stay posted up. Y'all know where to find us. And yeah, let's just keep this thing afloat.
Cool. I love it. Let's go.
Love you too.
Love you.
See you. All right, guys. Y'all have a good one.
Peace.
Peace.